This is one funded account. I'm up just about 10K on this funded account, up just a little bit more on my personal account, but this is done with no copy trading. And I want to share this. It's not a flex. Well, yes, a bit of a flex, but not just a flex. But I share this to inspire the version of me 7 years ago. When I first started trading, I couldn't even fathom a 10K month, let alone a 10K week. Well, at the very start, I could fathom a 10K month. I thought I was going to be rich at the very start. I thought trading was going to make me rich so quick. But that process was a lot longer than I had hoped. Once I felt the realities of how hard trading actually was going to be, hitting a 10K week just felt like, wow, that's like when I'm going to be way, way up there. Bit of a moment of pride here as well, just being proud of what I've accomplished over the last 7 years to be able to get to this point. This is not my best week I've ever had. It's a good week, but I suppose I want to share this as a bit of inspiration as to what is possible when you get good at your craft, when you get good at mastering your self-discipline, knowing how to dial in and hit the pedal when a trade looks really good, knowing how to scale into that trade and hit the pedal hard and milk the markets for the opportunity it gives you. And the market is going to blow your ass out a lot of the time, right? But as you get better through the years, you learn to avoid that and learn to milk the market back just a little bit more every single day, every single month, every single year, getting just a little bit better. So what I'm going to share in this video is my results on this account for the week, some trading statistics, and some of which might surprise you. So we'll have a look at my stats now, how things looked this last week, and go from there. So if you're new here, I'm a scalper, volume profile and volume-based analysis only, and I take very short-term trades. Now, one thing I want to clarify here, because some of you guys don't understand this, but when you see on Project X, when it says 27 trades, 18 trades, that's not 27 separate trades. Technically, what this is, Project X calculates every time you enter a contract and exit a contract is one trade. Like I mentioned earlier, sometimes when my trade setup is really there and I want to hit the gas hard and scale into a position, I will add multiple contracts along the way. I'll add 1-1 into the trade and then peel them off 1-1 and sometimes maybe add back in. So that's called scaling it in and out of positions, and that's how I hit, as you can see, some of my biggest days. So that when you're seeing it say 27 trades, 18 trades, even 5 or 6 trades, often it's just 1 to 2 trade ideas that have been scaled in or scaled out of. Sometimes you'll see one trade, maybe hit a limit order for 3 contracts to fill at the same time, boom, exit 3 at the same time, boom, and that's going to be in and out and counted as one trade. But when you see these bigger numbers, those are those scaled trades. Now let's look at my stats. So here's what the stats are looking like. You can see the total P&L for the week. And here's the one that's going to trigger the stat nerds. You can see my average win-loss was 0.6. So average win, 257. Average loss, 429. Now let me tell you something about average win to loss ratio. And a lot of my trade stats actually look like this. And the reason being is because I have a high trade win percent, right? Normally I sit between, worst I've had since I really nailed down this volume profile trading, it's been around the 67% mark. This week's on the upper end of what I'm normally hitting. 84% win rate. So when your win rate is high, right, and you trust in your system, you have confidence in your ability, and you have the stats to back you up about your win percentage, you can get away with having losses that are bigger than your winners. Now keep in mind, not all my stop losses are wider than my take profit. Most of the time I'm actually targeting just 1-to-1, but a few times I have a larger stop loss than a take profit. And that's if I want to give a trade space to breathe, but I'm pretty confident where my take profit is going to be hit, but I know there's going to be a little bit of noise. The way that I scale out of positions, I don't always allow my trade to hit full take profit at 1-to-1. I will scale in and scale out of positions like I mentioned earlier. So my average win, the average time I take a trade off the table, it's winning about $257 every time I take a contract off, take a contract off. And that's as a trade is moving. Whereas for the trades that I get stopped out on, I don't move my stop loss. That stop loss gets stopped out at full stop out. So I don't scale out as I'm losing a trade, but I do scale out as I'm winning a trade. I'll add and scale as my trade is in progress. So that's why you see there's a few times where my trades did hit full stop out. It took the full stop loss, hence the numbers here of -429 and +257. That's why you're seeing a skew like this. There, I do take a good handful of negative R trades when I'm confident in the setup. That comes with years of developing as a trader and knowing your statistics. You can only get away with this if you have a higher win rate. If your win rate is low, closer to 50 or less, you can't get away with doing this, okay? Fairly consistent in terms of profit percentages here. My best day was 22% of my total profit. Profit factor in total I've lost 4,292, but have made 14,415 in the week. totaling $10,123. So I'm not normally the trader to share P&L like this because it's so subjective and individual, right? Some traders are comfortable with risking more. Some traders like to only use micros, and different dollar amounts mean different things to different people, right? So I don't normally like to share things like this just for the sake of it. But closing out this week, I took a moment to sit back and think, damn, I used to wish and pray and hope that one day I'd be able to pull numbers like this. And it just clicked with me today, like, damn, I'm really doing this at a pretty consistent basis. And that old me 7 years ago will be so proud of this. It was tough back then too, watching influencers. I'm an influencer too, no shame in that, but it was tough watching other influencers too. Back then, posting days where they have 20, 30K days, I'm like, what the hell am I doing wrong? Or is this even real? Is this 20, 30K real? But here I'm showing you nothing too crazy, right? I am not copy trading a whole bunch of accounts, not super over leveraging, just trading my system, trading my strategy with my discretion, managing my risk. And putting away a week like this is solid. I used to make $5,000 a month in my 9 to 5 job. Now having just trading alone on this one account, doing 10K in a week, it's just one of those moments. It's like, man, sometimes you got to sit back and look back and appreciate how far you've come. So obviously not all weeks are good. You're going to have some bad weeks and whatnot. But I hope some of you find this as inspiration just to see what's possible, especially with prop firms out here now. To see what's possible with a relatively small amount of capital and personal risk is crazy, right? Let alone what you can do with a personal account once you've reached a solid skill level as well. So I'm going to be taking a payout from this account. I'm going to shell out about half of that profit, take out a $5,000 payout, and just keep going. That's what we do. Every day's a new day. Got to forget about this now, put it behind us, start again on Monday or Sunday open for me. So check out my last video if you want to see some of the trades I took during the week that I found really good. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. If you want to follow my daily trade journal for free, you can see the link in the description below. It's called the Order Flow Dude. It's like my public trading journal. So check that out. Subscribe for free. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week.